the late 19th century, a time of immense change. America was in the throes of the Gilded Age. Industry boomed, cities swelled with new arrivals. Fortunes were made and lost overnight. But beneath the shimmering surface, a darker reality festered. Corruption was rife. Inequality was stark. The echoes of the Civil War still reverberated through the nation. It was in this turbulent era, a time ripe with contradictions and complexities, that one of America's most enduring literary voices emerged. Samuel Langhorne Clemens was born in the small town of Florida, Missouri in 1835. This quaint town, nestled in the heart of America, was a place where the simplicity of rural life met the challenges of the frontier. The Clemens family, like many others in the region, faced the daily struggles of survival and the pursuit of a better life. The town itself, with its dirt roads and modest homes, was a microcosm of the broader American experience during this period of expansion and change. The sixth of 7 children born to John and Jane Clemens, young Sam's early life was marked by both hardship and adventure. The Clemens household was bustling with activity, with children running about and the constant hum of daily chores. Despite the challenges, there was a sense of camaraderie and resilience that defined the family. Sam, with his curious nature and boundless energy, often found himself at the center of the action, whether it was playing pranks on his siblings or exploring the nearby woods. His father, a storekeeper and aspiring lawyer, struggled to provide for his family. John Clemens was a man of ambition and dreams, but the harsh realities of frontier life often thwarted his efforts. The store, a modest establishment, was a gathering place for the community, where news was exchanged and goods were bartered. Yet, despite his best efforts, John Clemens found it difficult to make ends meet, and the weight of financial instability was a constant burden. Financial instability cast a long shadow over their lives. The Clemens family, like many others, faced the harsh realities of economic hardship. The struggle to put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads was a daily challenge. Yet, amidst the difficulties, there was a sense of hope and determination that kept them going. The family bond was strong, and they leaned on each other for support and comfort during the toughest times. In 1839, seeking better fortunes, the Clemens family moved to the bustling port city of Hannibal, Missouri. Hannibal, with its vibrant riverfront and diverse population, offered new opportunities and experiences. The city was a hub of activity, with steamboats arriving and departing, and the constant flow of goods and people creating a dynamic environment. For Sam, it was a place of endless fascination and adventure. Situated on the banks of the mighty Mississippi, Hannibal would become Sam's boyhood playground, and later, the inspiration for the fictional town of St. Petersburg in his beloved novels, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. The river, with its ever-changing moods and the promise of distant lands, captured Sam's imagination like nothing else. It was a place where dreams were born and stories took shape, providing a rich tapestry of experiences that would later fuel his literary creations. The Mississippi River, with its steamboats, rafts, and colorful cast of characters, captivated young Sam's imagination. The river was a world unto itself, teeming with life and adventure. Steamboats, with their majestic presence and rhythmic churning of the water, were a symbol of progress and possibility. Rafts, often manned by rugged individuals with tales of far-off places, added to the mystique. For Sam, the river was a source of endless stories and a playground for his boundless curiosity. He spent countless hours exploring its shores, soaking up the sights and sounds of river life. The riverbanks were a treasure trove of discoveries, from the intricate patterns of driftwood to the calls of distant birds. Sam, often accompanied by friends, would embark on adventures that took them deep into the heart of nature. Fishing, swimming, and simply watching the river flow by were daily activities that left an indelible mark on his young mind. These childhood experiences would later provide rich material for Twain's writing, infusing his work with a sense of adventure, realism, and a deep connection to the natural world. The stories he crafted were not just tales of fiction, but reflections of a life lived with curiosity and wonder. The characters he created, from the mischievous Tom Sawyer to the free-spirited Huckleberry Finn, were drawn from the people he encountered and the experiences he cherished. His writing was a celebration of the human spirit and the beauty of the world around him. Tragedy struck the Clemens family when Sam was just 11 years old. The loss of his father was a profound and life-altering event. John Clemens, who had been a pillar of strength and a source of inspiration, was suddenly gone, leaving a void that was deeply felt by the entire family. The grief was palpable, and the young Sam, who had always looked up to his father, found himself grappling with a sense of loss and uncertainty. His father, weakened by years of financial strain and illness, passed away. The years of struggle had taken their toll on John Clemens, and his passing was a stark reminder of the fragility of life. The family, already burdened by economic hardship, now faced the additional challenge of coping with their grief. This loss forced young Sam to grow up quickly. With his father's death, the responsibility of supporting the family fell on his young shoulders. Sam, who had always been a carefree and adventurous boy, now had to navigate the adult world of work and responsibility. The transition was not easy, but it was a testament to his resilience and determination. He took on various jobs, each one teaching him valuable lessons and shaping his character. He left school to help support his family, taking on a variety of jobs, including a printer's apprentice. The print shop, with its smell of ink and the rhythmic clatter of the printing press, became a new world for Sam. It was here that he was introduced to the power of the written word and the art of storytelling. The work was demanding, but it also provided him with a sense of purpose and a glimpse into the world of literature and communication. It was during these formative years that Sam's natural talent for storytelling and his sharp wit began to emerge. The experiences he gained, the people he met, and the challenges he faced all contributed to the development of his unique voice. His ability to observe and capture the essence of human nature, combined with his keen sense of humor, set the stage for his future as one of America's greatest humorists. The seeds of his literary genius were sown in these early years, nurtured by a life rich in experiences and a mind eager to explore the world. At the age of 18, Sam Clemens realized a long-held dream. Born in Florida, Missouri in 1835, Clemens had grown up with a fascination for the mighty Mississippi River. The river was more than just a body of water. It was a symbol of adventure, freedom, and the unknown. As a young boy, he would often sit by the riverbanks, watching the steamboats glide by, their paddle wheels churning the water, and dream of the day he could be a part of that world. He became a licensed steamboat pilot on the Mississippi River. This was no small feat. The process of becoming a pilot was rigorous and demanding. Clemens had to learn every twist and turn of the river, every hidden sandbar, and every treacherous current. The river was constantly changing, and a good pilot had to be able to read its moods and anticipate its dangers. Clemens threw himself into his training with a passion, spending long hours studying maps and charts, and even longer hours on the river itself, learning from experienced pilots. This demanding profession required skill, courage, and an intimate knowledge of the ever-changing river. The life of a steamboat pilot was not for the faint of heart. It was a job that required constant vigilance and quick thinking. A single mistake could mean disaster, not just for the pilot, but for the entire crew and passengers on board. Clemens thrived in this challenging environment, relishing the sense of responsibility and the thrill of navigating the mighty river. For 4 years, Clemens navigated the treacherous waters of the Mississippi, learning its secrets, facing its dangers, and encountering a diverse cast of characters. The river was a microcosm of American society, with people from all walks of life coming together on its waters. Clemens met wealthy businessmen and poor laborers, gamblers and preachers, adventurers and settlers. Each person had a story to tell, and Clemens listened to them all, absorbing their tales and their dialects. Life as a river pilot was more than just a job for Clemens. It was an education. He learned about human nature, about the complexities of society, and about the beauty and danger of the natural world. The river was a teacher, and Clemens was an eager student. He learned to read the river's currents and anticipate its moods, developing an almost instinctual understanding of its ways. This deep connection to the river would stay with him for the rest of his life, influencing his writing and shaping his worldview. He honed his observational skills, listening to the stories and dialects of the people he encountered. Clemens had a keen ear for language, and he delighted in the rich tapestry of voices he heard on the river. He would later use these voices to create some of the most memorable characters in American literature. The river was a melting pot, and Clemens was a sponge, soaking up the sights, sounds, and stories of the people he met. He learned to read the river's currents and anticipate its moods. The river was a living, breathing entity, constantly shifting and changing. Clemens developed a deep respect for its power and its unpredictability. He learned to navigate its twists and turns, to avoid its hidden dangers, and to appreciate its beauty. The river was a source of inspiration for Clemens, and it would become a central theme in many of his works. These experiences would profoundly influence his writing, shaping his narrative style and providing a rich tapestry of characters and settings for his future works. Clemens's time on the river was a formative period in his life, and it left an indelible mark on his imagination. The people he met, the places he saw, and the stories he heard would all find their way into his writing, giving his work a depth and authenticity that resonated with readers. The outbreak of the Civil War in 1861 brought an abrupt end to Clemens's riverboat career. The war changed everything, turning the river from a bustling highway of commerce into a strategic battleground. Steamboats that had once carried passengers and cargo now transported troops and supplies. The river, which had been a source of livelihood and adventure for Clemens, became a symbol of conflict and division. The Mississippi, once a vital artery of commerce, became a battleground. The river was a key strategic asset for both the Union and the Confederacy, and control of its waters was fiercely contested. Battles raged along its banks, and the once peaceful river was filled with the sounds of gunfire and cannon blasts. Clemens, like many others, was caught up in the turmoil of the war, and his life was forever changed by the experience. Clemens's brief stint fighting for the Confederacy ended quickly, leaving him disillusioned with the war. He had joined a Confederate militia unit, but his heart was not in the fight. The horrors of war, the senseless violence, and the deep divisions it created left Clemens feeling lost and disillusioned. He realized that he could not continue to fight for a cause he did not believe in, and he left the military, seeking a new direction for his life. Seeking a fresh start, Clemens headed west to Nevada with his brother Orion, who had been appointed Secretary of the Nevada Territory. The American West was a land of opportunity, a place where people could reinvent themselves and start anew. For Clemens, it was a chance to leave the past behind and find a new path. The journey west was long and arduous, but it was also filled with excitement and possibility. The American West, still wild and untamed, offered Clemens a new frontier, both literally and figuratively. The West was a land of vast, open spaces, rugged landscapes, and untapped potential. It was a place where the rules were different, where people could take risks and chase their dreams. Clemens was captivated by the spirit of the West, and he threw himself into the adventure with enthusiasm. It was here, amidst the boomtowns and mining camps of the West, that Samuel Clemens would reinvent himself as Mark Twain, the writer. The West was a place of transformation, and Clemens embraced the opportunity to reinvent himself. He began writing for local newspapers using the pen name Mark Twain, a term he had learned on the river that meant safe water. His experiences in the West, like those on the river, provided rich material for his writing, and he quickly gained a reputation as a talented and insightful storyteller. The journey from Sam Clemens, the river pilot, to Mark Twain, the writer, was complete. and the world would never be the same. The years following the Civil War were a time of profound transformation for America. The nation, scarred but not broken, embarked on a period of rapid industrialization and westward expansion. Railroads stretched across the continent, connecting distant communities and fueling economic growth. Cities swelled with waves of immigrants seeking new opportunities and a better life. But this era of progress was also marked by deep social and economic divisions. The gap between the wealthy elite and the working class widened. Political corruption flourished. Reconstruction in the South struggled to heal the wounds of slavery and war. Mark Twain, a keen observer of human nature and a master of satire, used his writing to expose the hypocrisies and inequalities of his time. His stories, often humorous on the surface, carried a sharp undercurrent of social commentary. He lampooned the excesses of the Gilded Age, challenged racial prejudices, and championed the underdog. Through his characters and their experiences, Twain held a mirror up to American society, forcing readers to confront the complexities of their time. From the rough-and-tumble mining camps of the West to the genteel drawing rooms of the East, Twain captured the spirit of a nation in flux. He gave voice to the marginalized, celebrated the ingenuity and resilience of everyday Americans, and questioned the very nature of progress and civilization. It was in the West that Samuel Clemens fully embraced his destiny as a writer, adopting the pen name Mark Twain. Born in 1835 in Florida, Missouri, Clemens grew up in the small town of Hannibal, nestled along the banks of the Mississippi River. This river would later become a central symbol in his works, representing both the promise and peril of American life. Clemens's early years were marked by a series of adventures and misadventures, from working as a printer's apprentice to trying his hand at gold mining. But it was his time as a riverboat pilot on the Mississippi that left an indelible mark on his imagination and provided the fertile ground for his literary endeavors. Mark Twain, a term used by riverboat pilots to indicate 2 fathoms of water, signifying safe passage, took on a new meaning as Clemens's literary alter ego. The name itself evokes the spirit of adventure and exploration that characterized much of Twain's writing. As a riverboat pilot, Clemens learned to navigate the treacherous waters of the Mississippi, a skill that required both precision and intuition. This experience not only honed his observational skills, but also deepened his understanding of human nature, themes that would permeate his later works. It marked the beginning of a remarkable literary journey. Clemens's transition from riverboat pilot to writer was not immediate. He first tried his hand at journalism, working for various newspapers and honing his craft as a storyteller. His early articles and sketches were filled with humor and satire, reflecting his keen eye for the absurdities of everyday life. It was during this period that he began to develop his distinctive voice, one that combined wit, humor, and a deep sense of social justice. Twain's early writing career was marked by humor, adventure, and a keen eye for the absurd. His ability to find humor in the most unlikely places set him apart from his contemporaries. He had a knack for turning ordinary events into extraordinary tales, often highlighting the quirks and contradictions of human behavior. This unique perspective made his work both entertaining and thought-provoking, earning him a growing audience of readers who eagerly awaited his next story. His short story, The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County, published in 1865, catapulted him to national fame. The story, which tells the tale of a gambler and his champion jumping frog, was an instant hit, capturing the imagination of readers across the country. The story's humor and wit, combined with its vivid portrayal of life in the American West, resonated with readers and critics alike. Its whimsical tale of a gambler and his champion jumping frog captured the spirit of the American West and established Twain's reputation as a master storyteller. The story's success opened new doors for Twain, leading to more writing opportunities and greater recognition. He continued to write short stories and sketches, each one showcasing his unique voice and perspective. His ability to blend humor with social commentary made his work both entertaining and insightful, earning him a loyal following of readers. Emboldened by his success, Twain embarked on a whirlwind lecture tour, captivating audiences with his wit, humor, and insightful observations on American life. His lectures were a mix of storytelling, humor, and social commentary, reflecting his diverse interests and experiences. He had a natural talent for public speaking, engaging his audiences with his charismatic presence and sharp wit. These lectures not only expanded his audience, but also provided him with new material for his writing. He traveled extensively, both within the United States and abroad, drawing inspiration from his experiences and honing his craft as a writer and performer. His travels took him to places as diverse as the American West, Europe, and the Holy Land, each journey providing new insights and experiences that would later find their way into his writing. Twain's ability to observe and capture the essence of the places he visited made his travel writing both vivid and engaging. These travels would provide rich material for his future works, including The Innocents Abroad, a satirical travelogue chronicling his adventures on a steamship tour of Europe and the Holy Land. Published in 1869, The Innocents Abroad was a critical and commercial success, further cementing Twain's reputation as a leading literary voice. The book's humor and sharp observations on the cultural differences between Americans and Europeans resonated with readers, making it one of Twain's most popular works. With each new work, Mark Twain solidified his place as a leading literary voice of his generation, a chronicler of the American experience, and a master of social commentary disguised as entertainment. His ability to blend humor with serious themes made his work both accessible and profound, appealing to a wide range of readers. Twain's legacy as a writer and social critic continues to influence and inspire, reminding us of the power of storytelling to illuminate the human condition. The year was 1867, and Mark Twain, already a literary star on the rise, found himself drawn to the charms of a young woman named Olivia Langdon. Olivia, from a wealthy and socially prominent family in Elmira, New York, was a stark contrast to the rough-hewn world Twain inhabited. Olivia was a woman of intelligence, compassion, and strong moral convictions. She was drawn to Twain's humor and his keen observations on society, but she also recognized the rawness and restlessness that lay beneath his public persona. Their courtship was a study in contrasts, a delicate dance between two worlds. Olivia's family, initially skeptical of the boisterous humorist, gradually warmed to his undeniable charm and his growing literary reputation. Twain, smitten with Olivia's grace and intelligence, found himself drawn to her unwavering moral compass, a stark contrast to the often cynical world he inhabited as a writer. In 1867, Mark Twain embarked on a life-changing adventure, a transatlantic voyage aboard the steamship Quaker City. The journey, organized as a pilgrimage to Europe and the Holy Land, would provide Twain with a wealth of material for his writing and shape his perspective on the world. Among the passengers were a colorful cast of characters: clergymen, socialites, aspiring artists, and curious travelers, all eager to experience the wonders of the old world. Twain, ever the keen observer, documented their antics, their aspirations, and their foibles in letters and journals, material that would later form the basis for his first travelogue, The Innocents Abroad. The journey took them from the bustling port of New York to the ancient cities of Europe, from the hallowed grounds of the Holy Land to the exotic bazaars of the Middle East. Twain, with his sharp wit and irreverent humor, offered a uniquely American perspective on these foreign lands. He marveled at the architectural wonders of Rome, poked fun at the pretensions of European society, and found humor in the challenges of navigating unfamiliar cultures and languages. Upon his return to America, Mark Twain wasted no time in transforming his travel experiences into a literary triumph. The Innocents Abroad published in 1869, was an instant success, solidifying Twain's reputation as a master of humor and satire. The book was a departure from the conventional travelogues of the time, which tended towards romanticism and reverence. Twain, with his trademark irreverence, offered a refreshingly candid and often hilarious account of his experiences. He poked fun at the pretensions of his fellow travelers, lampooned the romantic notions surrounding European culture, and offered a wry commentary on the human condition, regardless of geography. The Innocents Abroad was more than just a humorous travelogue. It was a reflection on American identity in a globalized world. Twain, through his observations and anecdotes, contrasted the energy and pragmatism of American culture with the traditions and formalities of Europe. The success of The Innocents Abroad provided Mark Twain with financial security and literary freedom. He continued to write prolifically, exploring new genres and refining his craft. He published short stories, essays, and sketches in various magazines and newspapers, honing his skills as a social commentator and satirist. He tackled topics ranging from politics to religion, from social etiquette to the absurdities of human nature, always with his trademark wit and irreverence. Twain's writing during this period reflected his growing social and political awareness. He began to grapple with complex issues such as racism, imperialism, and the growing gap between the rich and poor. His humor, while still ever-present, often carried a sharper edge, a reflection of his growing disillusionment with the hypocrisies of his time. In 1870, Mark Twain married Olivia Langdon, and the couple settled in Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford, a center of intellectual and literary life, provided Twain with a stimulating environment and a sense of stability. The Twain household was a lively one, filled with the laughter of children, Susie, Clara, and Jean, and the constant buzz of creativity. Twain, despite his growing fame, remained a devoted family man, finding joy in his role as a husband and father. The Hartford years were a time of great literary productivity for Twain. He published some of his most enduring works during this period, including The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Life on the Mississippi, and The Prince and the Pauper. Twain's Hartford home became a gathering place for the literary and intellectual elite of the day. He counted among his friends and contemporaries such luminaries as Harriet Beecher Stowe, Charles Dudley Warner, and Frederick Law Olmsted. Published in 1876, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer was a departure for Mark Twain. It was a nostalgic and often humorous look back at his own boyhood in Hannibal, Missouri. The novel, narrated from the perspective of its titular character, captured the spirit of boyhood adventure, friendship, and the pangs of first love. Tom Sawyer, with his mischievous nature, his thirst for adventure, and his unwavering loyalty to his friends, became an instant literary icon. Through Tom's eyes, Twain explored the universal themes of childhood, the allure of the unknown, and the complexities of growing up in a world often at odds with the innocence of youth. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, while seemingly a light-hearted adventure story, also touched upon darker themes such as slavery, prejudice, and the violence that lurked beneath the surface of small-town America. In 1883, Mark Twain published Life on the Mississippi, a work that blended autobiography, history, and social commentary. It was a return, both literally and figuratively, to the river that had so profoundly shaped his life. The book recounted Twain's experiences as a young steamboat pilot, capturing the romance, the danger, and the unique culture of life on the Mississippi. It was a nostalgic look back at a bygone era, a time when the river was the lifeblood of the nation. But life on the Mississippi was more than just a sentimental journey. Twain, with his keen eye for social dynamics, also explored the impact of industrialization and progress on the river and its people. He lamented the decline of the steamboat era, the rise of railroads, and the homogenization of American culture that he witnessed along the river's banks. In 1885, Mark Twain published what is widely considered his masterpiece, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. The novel, a sequel to The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, was a radical departure in both tone and theme. Narrated in the vernacular dialect of its young protagonist, Huckleberry Finn, the novel followed Huck's journey down the Mississippi River with the escaped slave, Jim. Their journey became a powerful indictment of slavery and racism, a testament to the power of friendship and compassion in the face of societal prejudice. Adventures of Huckleberry Finn was met with immediate controversy upon its release. Its unflinching portrayal of racism, its use of vernacular language, and its questioning of societal norms challenged the sensibilities of the time. Despite the controversy, or perhaps because of it, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn secured Twain's place as a literary giant. It remains a cornerstone of American literature, a timeless exploration of freedom, morality, and the complexities of the human experience. As Mark Twain entered the twilight of his career, his literary legacy was firmly established. He had gone from a printer's apprentice to a riverboat pilot to a celebrated humorist and social commentator. His works had captured the spirit of a nation in transition, from the rough-hewn West to the genteel East, from the innocence of boyhood to the complexities of adulthood. He had made readers laugh, cry, and question their own perceptions of the world. Twain's influence on American literature is immeasurable. He paved the way for a new kind of American voice, one that was authentic, irreverent, and unafraid to tackle difficult subjects. His words continue to resonate with readers today, reminding us of the power of storytelling, the importance of laughter, and the enduring relevance of the human experience in all its messy, complicated glory. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out our merch in the store and click the video on your screen to watch another amazing video, and have a blessed day.